a quick reminder when you're translating, when you have addition and subtraction, you care about whether the addition and subtraction is inside grouping symbols or outside. When you're inside, you're moving things right and left horizontally. And if you're outside of grouping symbols, you're moving things up and down. Specifically, when you're inside, addition is left and subtraction is right. And when you're outside, subtraction is down and addition is up. Okay, so if we take a look at this one, we want to take this graph and we're going to shift it. But there's already a little bit that's been done to it. So you want to make sure when you're looking at the equation, the original equation, which is this curve, this is the graph of 3 square root x. So we're not having to worry about the 3 in the front. That's already been dealt with. That happens to be a vertical stretch by a factor of 3. We don't have to worry about that. We're only going to look to see what's different about this equation compared to this equation. So the only difference is underneath the root, there's now a -1. That 3 was already there. And there's a -4 off to the side. So the only thing I'm going to have to deal with are these two. So what's that -1 under the root going to do inside grouping symbols? Inside grouping symbols. Right, there we go, right 1. And then outside of grouping symbols, what's that -4? Nice, that's going to go down. So I'm going to go right 1, down 4. So I'm going to grab this, drag it, right 1. And down 4. And there's my final graph. Notice I'm not worrying about the 3 because the original graph was 3 root x. So that part had already been taken care of. Okay, so let's look at a couple more here. So in this one, the graph that is sitting here right now is the graph of y equals -x squared. It's already been reflected across the x-axis. So the only difference between this equation and this equation is there's now a -3 inside of grouping symbols and an add 1 outside of grouping symbols. So the -3 on the inside is right 3, and the +1 on the outside is up 1. So I'm going to grab this graph here and drag it. And it doesn't matter which one you do first. You can do right and up or up and then right. Okay, but I'm going to go up 1 and right 3. And now we have the graph of that parabola. Okay, so last example. When I look at the original, there's already a 2 in the front. So the picture of this square root function, it's already had a vertical stretch by a factor of 2. That's already been taken care of. So to get from here to here, the difference in the equation is an add 1 under the root, so inside grouping symbols, and a -3 outside of grouping symbols. Okay, so stop and think there for a moment. What does add 1 inside grouping symbols do? Awesome, left 1. And then outside of grouping symbols, -3. Nice job, down 3. So I'm going to grab this graph and go left 1 and then down 3, and I have it graphed. You might, when you're doing these, think about what did 2 in the front, how did that change this graph? They've already taken care of it. But the original, it was at height of 1, and now it's at 1. We're gonna have, oh, I messed that up. If I put in 1, I would normally have a height of 1, and then if I stretch it, I double the height. So you might just consider that. Okay.